And welcome to Morning at 10 TV. My name is Idris Matu, and this is Everyday Life. Now, water is a very important aspect for our livelihood. And in studio, I have Florence Adongo from the Ministry of Water and Environment, and I have Francis Musinguzi, Country Director, WaterAid. Gentlemen and lady, you are welcome on the show.
Thank you very much.
Now, I would like to start with Florence. The Water Week, the Water and the Environment Week. What is it about and what inspired it?
Thank you very much, Idris. Water and Environment Week is a new innovation from the Ministry of Water and Environment. It is coined to bring in key stakeholders onto a platform where we can discuss issues pertaining to water and environment. We recognize that the centrality of water and environment is yet to be appreciated in national development.
Yes.
And we have got opportunity to get exposed elsewhere, world over, and a lot of discussions are taking place on water. We have the World Water Week. We are going to have the World Water Forum in Brazil this month. And we thought it would be wise for us to coin a forum for national discussions. We use our local professionals, experts, private sector, all water users, environment users, to create awareness, exchange knowledge, and also see how we can support our national development in line with the National Development Plan and also the Vision 2040. We recognize that especially the water resources of Uganda is dwindling, and the population is increasing. And we have an ambitious National Development Plan and Vision 2040, which we must achieve. And so,
just to get away from you and go to Engineer Musinguzi, how is WaterAid involved in all this?
Okay. So just like Florence has emphasized that as development partners, the private sector, civil society, we come together with the Ministry of Water in terms of profiling water, especially within this World Water Week. So our presence is in fact testimony of our joint collaboration, and there are also other partners that are working out there to emphasize the centrality of water within Uganda's development plan.
And what shall we be seeing under the week? What are the activities that will be profiled?
Maybe first I would like to say that we need to first inform our listeners about the theme. The theme of the week is water and environment, a catalyst for achieving middle income status by 2020.
2020?
Yes.
Not 2040?
No, 2020. We want
I'm glad that the years are coming closer.
2040 is the vision.
So we would want to see how water can catalyze, because world over, water has been key in development, and we have seen countries grow by utilizing their water sustainably and the environment sustainably. So we feel we need to revisit our strategies in management of water resources, development, because we have a lot of potential on water resources. We are gifted by nature. So in this week, we are going to have a series of build-up activities. And these activities will begin from 17th March 2018 up to 23rd. Now on 17th March, we are going to have a cleanup exercise in one of the areas in Makerere, around Makere Kivulu. And we are going to involve the community in cleaning. You realize that much of the draining of Kampala drain into our water body, Lake Victoria. And that is a very precious resource, and it is reducing its potential for other uses. So we want to involve the community into cleaning, to see that we educate them about how they should manage their waste, so that doesn't spill over into the environment. That is on Saturday. And we are there with the partners. The activity is being led by Kampala Capital City Authority in collaboration with the Ministry of Water and Environment, but also we have WaterAid, we have Water for People, and other partners, and we invite all of
and just to a little bit go back to Engineer Musinguzi, what is WaterAid? What do you do?
So WaterAid, we advocate for the positioning of WASH in national development, water, sanitation and hygiene. As an NGO, we are not government. And we are looking at water, which is now given as a constitutional right within our Uganda's constitution. Therefore, as a constitutional right, it means that you have a duty bearer, which is the government, the Minister of Water. Yeah. But you also have the rights holders, who are the common people like us. So what WaterAid does is provide evidence through research. We also provide evidence through the work we do, what we call service advocacy, and bring this evidence for the people like me and you to understand what is our right to water and how can we demand this right from the government. But we also work with the government to understand how can government as an institution better provide or deliver this water sanitation and hygiene through the national vision, which is 2040, the national development plan, through the planning, budgeting processes, through the monitoring, through the delivery of water, and also understanding the whole resource. So that's why we are here in terms of bringing together that evidence, that learning to advocate for the positioning of water, sanitation and hygiene in national development.
And since you collect the evidence, she mentioned that the water resources and water availability is dwindling by the day. Why is that?
Of course, Florence is the expert on the water resources, and I think she should be able to to answer that.
I can answer that.
You've diverted back there. All right. So, Florence, why is water dwindling? Why don't we have enough access to water? And we have a lot of lakes, we have a lot of rivers, swamps. Why is that Uganda not having enough of water?
Yeah, now, from the scientific point of view and from the knowledge that we have had, the number of new events happening, including climate change. But we also recognize that because of our environmental degradation, a lot of activities are interfering with the water cycle. And therefore, in our last assessment, or in 2013, we realized that from 1995 to 2013, the amount of surface water, renewable surface water that goes through the water cycle has reduced by 34%. And yet, the population of Uganda is increasing. Now, when you divide that by the per capita, you see it going down. That is one. We did an assessment in 2016 on to see what economic contribution does water resources of Uganda and environment resources of Uganda contribute to the GDP of Uganda. And we recognize that actually there's a lot that we can contribute. Unfortunately, people are not aware that these water resources is not here forever. It is finite. And the amount of water resources is going down. And we also realize that if we have to achieve Vision 2040, that means that the current amount of water resources must be tripled. The current amount of water resources must be tripled, or else by 2040 the GDP will decrease by 5%. So we thought that these are very important messages that we need to bring to the public so that our actions, which are interfering with the nature cycle of water and environment, should be rectified by us. And it is all of us responsible for what is happening.
What's the plan to triple the water resources?
Right now, there are many things. That's one thing. We want to create awareness. We want to educate people to appreciate. We want to see that there are best practices in water use, efficient water uses. We must reduce pollution on the water resources so that more water is available. Because, for example, right now, if you see Nakivubu channel, it is flowing, it is water. But you cannot use it. So that water is not available. It is not available. So we need to work together in order to protect the water resources so that we can harness the potential. In addition to that, the water resources you see as a transboundary context. It is shared by other countries. So we really need to be aware of that and use water more efficiently and sustainably so that our next generation can also get.
So the theme of the Uganda Water Environment Week 2018 is to see that water and environment as a catalyst for achieving middle income status. And when you mention middle income status, most of us think money. Yeah, I'm going to be able to earn from water. So what's the plan for the Mwananchi to be able to earn from water?
You need to see water from a broader perspective.
Yes.
When we talk about water, you look at the different uses. you can, as a matter of priority in our policy, is drinking, which is obvious. But water is used for hydropower. Over 99% of our power is from hydro. The word hydro means water. So the water potential. Now through hydropower, you are able to empower other sectors, like the manufacturing. Again, in our assessment, we found that the Uganda's manufacturing sector, which is actually supposed to be key driver in achieving our goals, relies on water at about by about 50%. 16% directly for processing, but the other percentage comes through hydropower. So the centrality of water is very important. Even if we go to irrigation, we shall at one point have to pump water. We need water. You go to the different other tourism, the different core infrastructure which government has laid in front have all links to water. So in a way we can directly benefit, but there are a lot of indirect benefits to each and everybody.
Okay, so you mentioned a few things that we shall be seeing during the week.
Yes.
What are what will be happening for the rest of the week?
Yes, now on Saturday we shall do the cleaning. On Sunday we shall be organizing. The venue will be in Entebbe at the Directorate of Water Resources Management, which is close to Imperial Resort Hotel. And then on Monday we shall have official opening. At that opening, we shall have a keynote address by Dr. Fred Muhumuza. We shall have panel discussions on how water, actually on the theme, by a group of experts to digest and see how the centrality of water comes in. And then we shall also have technical presentations and other speeches. Now on Tuesday, we are going to have a series of technical presentations on the different thematic areas of integrated water resources management, water and sanitation development, environment and nature, all those we are going to have. Then on 21st of March, we are going to have a very important occasion when we launch the Water Resources Institute. This is going to be an institute that's going to promote applied training. That is one of the ways in which we are going to train every water user on how best to use water and get the best out of it without necessarily jeopardizing other people's...
The environment and also the health.
We shall also use it as a mechanism of bringing professionals together as a group of think tanks to advise on policy related to water environment. Use it to reach out, use it to train. That day we shall also offer applied training on the different thematic areas. And then we shall also use it as a mechanism to support the different sectors or come out with innovative ways of solving our challenges locally. So it's going to be a very important institute that we intend to make so that we are able to educate the mass and use water better. Now that is 21st. On 22nd is the World Water Day, which is celebrated internationally. But the ministry has other celebrations that we have combined together. Usually on the 21st, there's World Forest Day, 22nd is World Water Day, and 23rd is World Meteorological Day. But we are going to combine, all these together on one day, since we are one ministry, and commemorate it on 22nd.
And we've talked about water.
Yes.
Environment, and it's good that you brought in the aspect of forests. Recently we did a story whereby Mabira is dying. People are cutting down trees. What is being done to save the environment?
There are many activities, and one of them we are going to talk about it. Actually, I was going to tell you that on 23rd, we are going there. We have invited participants to go to Mabira to see with their own eyes and see how we can improve on that. We need a lot of stakeholder participation. And you know, seeing sometimes is believing, and how we gather together and discuss strategies will enable us to move forward. Of course, we have laws and regulations and enforcement, but that is not enough. I think the most important thing is about behavioral change. We must make effort for every Ugandan to appreciate the importance of having forests and their linkages to their lives, especially on the water. When you drain forests, you affect the water. And without water, there's no life. So we need to make the connection and work together and create that synergy so that people can appreciate that by doing this, I'm affecting this, and that affects me eventually, and my people and the generation to come.
Well, I appreciate the behavior change way of changing things. But again, it's been so many years, and these people are still cutting down these forests. Is the ministry considering another way of forcing these people out? Because Mabira is like our jewel.
Yes, right now what we are doing, actually, we are revising our environment law, the bill. I think you are aware of it. And it's coming out with a stronger regulatory mechanisms. But in addition to regulatory mechanisms, you need to have alternatives, because you cannot use force only. So we are coming out with other options. And that is why I'm telling you that one of them is trying to make people understand why we are doing what we are doing and how they can benefit from it. It's very important. And how they could coexist and how they can reforestate where we have. Because like Mabira is a very critical point, hydrological point. It has a link. The drainage has a link to the Nile from the water point of view. No? So we need them to appreciate the details of the benefits that we get from the forest.
All right.
Yes.
Engineer, just going back to you, the week is long. And
long
there's a lot that is going to be celebrated and also educated in terms of awareness on environment and water. What should we expect from WaterAid?
So first of all is to appreciate the Ministry of Water. Like Florence has stated, that putting together what you call a Water Resource Institute is a key step for Uganda forward, because we see countries like Sweden, which started by having Stockholm Water Week and Stockholm Water Institute. You see Korea having a Water Institute, and how those countries have pegged on that understanding of the water resource to contribute to development of the economy. These are countries which have skyrocketed into middle income and now first world countries. So a big appreciation to the government for having taken that first step and first initiative. So on the side of WaterAid, as we say, the issues of water are broad. You asked one key example on how we make money through water. And if you look in the Ministry of Health, all hospital beds at any time, a third of the people in there are there because of water-related illnesses. So if you're providing enough water in the health sector, you're able to reduce expenditures related to health. Within education, you know, our Vision 2040 recognizes that 51% of our girls are dropping out of school. And one of the reasons attributing to that is lack of water in bathrooms for menstrual hygiene management, and also hygiene causing absenteeism, sickness, low performance. So availing water within the education curriculum is in fact improving the learning outcomes in education. And of course, that shows you how much money we can make when the girl child is educated.
And then when we have kids kept in school, they will learn, they will get jobs, and hence the
whole economy. So in fact, this is a big leadership discussion. We are saying, as the government of Uganda, we are speaking to the leaders, to the parliament, to be able to recognize the contribution of WASH in the national budget, and therefore also allocate funding support, because what Florence is stating needs to be supported with a budget. Having a water policy and a water act, a forestry policy, there needs to be a budget to ensure that there is regulation done by the Ministry of Water and other arms, NEMA and the rest. Also within the Ministry of Finance, when you look at that analysis done within the budget cycle allocation, where do we see water and sanitation hygiene? Because that has been relegated away from the centrality of our development plan.
All right.
So we want to see that put back at the central stage.
All right. So unfortunately, I've run out of time. But Ms. Florence, so the week, the training and all the celebrations are open to the public?
Yes, the public is invited. Of course, there are those who have got invitations. But what I would like to say is that we would want all organs of decision-making, all water users. We have members of parliament, we have ministers, government officials, private sector, NGOs, academia. We also have development partners. So it is open. I know there is registration online, but there will also be registration when you arrive.
All right.
So,
Well, that's all we had for you. Prepare for the Uganda Water and Environment Week 2018. That will be starting on 17th to the 23rd of March 2018. Water is very important. Our environment is very important. So keep it safe. It starts with you. Now, up next is Mwasu Zemtia. But if you want to continue the conversation, go on our website, which is www.ntv.co.ug, or our social media pages, that is on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. Look out for Morning at NTV or NTV Uganda, and you can directly communicate to me on Idris Matu, that is spelled Edrismatu. Well, have a good morning and keep water and environment safe.